I have such a cool part of the translation to share with you, but before I do so, I just wanted to quickly talk about one of my favorite books that I read this year. And this is so random, it wasn't exactly an intentional read, I kind of happened upon it and then I couldn't put it down, and I'm so glad that I didn't. It's The Discoveries and Opinions of Galileo. Super random, but it was really great, and it reminded me of this comment that I received about generosity when it comes to sharing knowledge. And I'm all about that. I'm all about, the communal nature of things, especially in this world right now where everything seems to be behind some sort of paywall. When things are super scary, I feel like knowledge is so important to share. And yeah, it reminded me of this one part in the book where we don't really think about how people were communicating in the 17th century. So it's just funny to read letters back and forth between people. But the first letter sent to Galileo by basically this fangirl of his, this guy, Mark Welser, he writes to Galileo just this little tiny paragraph. It's just a paragraph. And he's just so sweet, so kind, talking about his work, And Galileo receives this and writes him back. He writes him back over 9 pages. And it's just the sweetest thing. He goes into detail about everything that the guy had mentioned in the letter and then some. Literally over 9 pages he writes back to this guy, to his fangirl. And Mark responds, "Oh my gosh, I'm hanging on every word. I'm devouring every word," basically. I'm paraphrasing, but he's just like, "Wow, thank you so much," It's just like the sweetest exchange, because it's clear that Galileo was just so excited that someone was interested in what he was working on, and he just, talked and talked. And I just related so much to both of them, and I just the sweetest thing ever. Mark, when he gets the letter, he literally says, "I have read it, or rather devoured it." It's just the sweetest. But yeah, it's important to remember also that the word schola, back in ancient Greece, we call school, it originally meant leisure. So people attending these universities, it's leisure. They're paying for leisure. And it's important to share that afterwards. In the last 2-3 years, I've just been really shocked by some of the people that I know that have gone to school and have all of these degrees and didn't speak about anything political. And to me, it was such a disappointment. It felt like, why have so much education and so much knowledge and not share and educate and communicate and discuss things? It just seemed greedy in a way, and I never want to be like that. And I always want to share things, and I hope this inspires you to do the same. So we're going to look at a ligature on 78R, the start of the second paragraph, the first word. That first character is really long and extended. It looks like an English P, but that's a T in Irish. And it's super long and extended. And technically it's not a character connecting to another character, so it's not technically a ligature, but it is a ligature, and I'm going to explain why. So this ligature was an artistic choice, and it relates to the word itself and then the words that it's covering. The third character in the word, what reads to me as tugail, which in Ireland, tugail is to lift, raise, take up, or take. The third character, however, doesn't exactly read as a normal G in other places in the text, which reads to me it might be a combo of different letters and might have some homonyms there, in addition to the word that is literally spelled tugail. So there's G and C overlap, in which case it would be tucuil, which is supporting, solid, sustaining. And in the event that it were an R mixed with an N there, tornail, it would be the word tack, but not like a pin. Tack as in nautical, like a ship. There's a zigzag motion that you can do to sort of curve the wind, and it looks kind of like a sail. Now the next word we see in other sections as subtube or undertube, but its phonetic equivalent is submultiple. And within the sort of sail, you can see these submultiples. You can see 4 groups of 3. And so the whole first line there reads as follows, and this is a direct translation. All of the definitions and the words in Irish are on my Substack and also on my GitHub. So that first line there of the second paragraph with the ligature on 78R reads, tack or lift up to subtube submultiple, weaving layer of thatch net in proximity to leaning, that coating of barb piercing in hole. And that's the first line plus the first word on the second line. Peace.